Hello, people. This is the Crunchy Fat, and I'm well aware about the zombie dragon what if yesterday about how some of you were a bit upset that you guys couldn't watch it. So I'll be doing a what if here for you guys while I'm working on Zombie Dragon as well. And this is what if female Deku was Dark Samus. And yes, I am dwelling into Nintendo. Yes, I have nearly ran out of ideas here. So, let's get going. So, a few things. Izumi will be Jiro's sister. Actually, no, she'll be Nejire's younger sister. And her quirk will be called hold on. So, her quirk will be called phase-on absorption and manipulation. So she'll be able to absorb phase-on and manipulate into things like armor and energy. So this is what she normally looks like, and this is her costume. This will be her costume. I'm not going to say whether this will be a hero or a villain, so you guys get to decide that. Anyways, continuing forward. So I believe since Nejire will be 3 years older than Izumi, yes, that'll be her name. Nejire will be 3 while Izumi is born to both of Nejire's parents, who we do not know the names of. So if their names have been revealed, do let me know. If not, I'll refer to them as Mr. and Mrs. Nejire. No, Mr. and Mrs. Hado. As Izumi is growing up, a lot of the kids and adults would have looked at her weirdly due to her darker skin, due to her dark blue. I think this is like a dark gray, it's a dark bluey gray skin complexion. As when the quirk doctor revealed what Nejire's quirk was, they were very excited, as Izumi is basically 1 at this point, as the quirk doctor would have wanted to discuss this with Mr. and Mrs. Hado about their other daughter. As they would say that their youngest daughter, Izumi, had gotten her quirk early, and that her quirk is called phase-on absorption and manipulation. And if you're wondering how I'm going to make this work, phase-on does exist, but it's like an experimental material. And I'll say Nejire's mother worked as a scientist, so while she was pregnant with Izumi was sort of exposed to the radiation from phase-on, which is sort of like what manipulated this to be her quirk. As the quirk doctor would discuss how Izumi could manipulate the phase-on by absorbing it and either turning it into energy like a normal human body would do to food, or she could manipulate it into an armor. As Mr. and Mrs. Hado would be surprised by this, that their youngest daughter had such a powerful quirk. Now, Nejire's quirk is powerful, so I'll say, as at this point, Izumi's quirk is a lot weaker than Nejire's, because Nejire will have a lot more time and experience to evolve her quirk. But since Izumi's like 1 right now, she can't really do that. As we then get to when Izumi is 4, and she is currently with her mother, working, as her mother is working on Phazon right now. As some of the Phazon would begin to creep out of its container as it began to go up the walls, as it would begin to move towards Izumi and Mrs. Hado. As Izumi would see this, and being a curious child, she would put her hand down to touch the Phazon, as she would be then basically absorb it into her body, as it would then become more energy for her, as this begins to cause her, as this energy would remain in her for a very long time. As Izumi is growing older, her the Phazon that she had absorbed throughout the years would have caused her to grow taller, to the point where she is about the same height as Dark Samus in the canon at the teenager, and she'll stop growing right there. But I don't know how tall Dark Samus is, so I'm going to look that up. So Izumi will be about 6'3" in her teenage years, and she's just going to stop growing right there. So while she was in high school, she would have basically stuck out like a sore thumb, and some people would mistake her nationality as being foreign, such as American or British, due to her height. But she would reiterate multiple times that she was Japanese. It's just that her quirk just works with her body differently. So once she reaches, okay, so Yue will be at college in this, so Izumi will be 18. So Izumi is just finishing up high school, and she looks like how she does in this image, as the teacher would then walk in, as he would say that, as he would bring out the sheets for them, for their future careers, as he'd then toss them into the air, saying, "I'm just kidding, I know you all want to be heroes." Now, some people have tried to bully Izumi due to her quirk and call her a villain, but whenever they tried to attack her, she would have always used the Phazon to protect her, to basically generate the armor and form the arm cannon, as seen in the Metroid games. As Bakugo she's in the same high school as Bakugo, as he would then give the same speech saying that, oh, these losers will be lucky enough to be some sidekick to a busted D-lister. Now, I'm just going to say this, Bakugo in this one isn't going to be as mean as he is in canon, because he doesn't really bully Izumi because he thinks her quirk is villainous or that she is weak. He's more or less like, you know how some people will bully, some people or siblings will bully other people or their younger siblings as their sort of way of protecting them, but it sometimes never works. Yeah, Bakugo is basically doing that. He's basically bullying Izumi to protect her. As the teacher would read out that Bakugo Katsuki and Izumi Hado are trying out for UA, as people would begin to laugh at her and say, why would UA let a villain like her into their prestigious school? They'd probably kick her out since she tried for the entrance exams. As Bakugo would then blow up Izumi's desk, as he would say, What the hell do you think you're going to try do, you damn nerd? You're going to die in the entrance exams if you even try. On. Sorry about that, as Izumi would then raise her arm up and form the arm cannon, as while Bakugo's laying off the sparks, Izumi points at him, as she'd say, "There is nothing that's going to stop me from trying, Bakugo. Actually, scratch that. She's not. You guys. I scratch the part where you guys decide. I'm sorry if I'm retconning myself, but she's going to be here in this one." As she points her arm cannon towards Bakugo, as she'd say, "There's nothing going to stop me from trying, Bakugo. And I think you, of all people, would know that." As she would then cock the arm cannon, as it begins to glow, as she would say, "Are you willing to take your chances in a fight with me, Bakugo? Because we both know you would lose in this." As the blue light on the arm cannon would begin to glow brighter and brighter, as Bakugo would go, as he'd then go back to his desk, as Izumi would cause her arm cannon to dissipate, as her normal arm would return. As the teacher would then continue with the lesson, as the day would end, as Izumi would head out. As Izumi would end up encountering the sludge villain, as she would basically be able to detect where the sludge villain is coming from and dodge it, as she would then form the arm cannon and start blasting at it, basically taking out large chunks from the sludge villain, until unleashing a full-powered blast from the arm cannon, basically eviscerating the sludge villain. Sorry about that. As All Might would then jump out of the sewer drain, as he'd say, "Nothing to fear, cause I am here." As he'd look around, as he'd see Izumi, as he'd say, "Excuse me, young lady, have you seen a villain with a sludge quirk somewhere around here?" As Izumi would say, "Oh yeah, I've seen him." As All Might would say, "Well, where is he?" As she'd say, "He's over there, somewhere up there, and oh yeah, all the way over there." As All Might would just see pieces of the sludge villain, you're dripping down, and his eyes did survive, as the sludge would congregate onto where the eyes were. As the sludge villain would then squirm over to All Might, as he would say, "Please, take me to jail. I am not wanting to fight this girl again." As All Might he wouldn't say, he's thinking to himself, what did this young girl do to him? As Izumi would then turn around, as she'd say, "Well, I'm off, see ya," as she begins to walk off. Now, Izumi isn't really a fan of All Might in this one. She isn't really a fan of any heroes. She just likes what they do, and she wants to become a hero so she can be like her older sister. As when she gets home, she opens the door, as Nejire is already there. Now, if I remember correctly, Nejire would be in second year at this point, so once Izumi opens the door, Nejire would jump out of the doorway and say, she'd then hug Izumi, and she'd say, "How are you doing, Izumi?" As Izumi would say, "Well, I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking." As she'd then walk into the house, as both their parents are out on a business trip. So Izumi's mother had left Izumi left a note, as they'd say, it would say, "I left some Phazon in your room for your quirk. So do try to ration it. I can't keep constantly sending Phazon to my house and it disappearing. Thanks." As it would have, as at the bottom it would say "Mom" with a little heart on the side of it. As Izumi would smile and say, "She always knows when to leave Phazon about the house." As Nejire would say, "Yeah, she really does." As Nejire would look over to Izumi and she'd say, "So, you dating anybody yet?" As Izumi would look back to Nejire and she'd say, "I don't know, are you dating someone yet?" As Nejire would immediately turn red and begin to look away, as she would begin to start stammering and stuttering, as she'd say, I don't know what you're talking about." As Izumi would say, "You're lying, Nejire. I can hear your heartbeat. It's going crazy in there. So tell me, who's the lucky guy?" And that is where I'm going to end it off. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you tell me the ship you guys want to see for Izumi and what the ship you want to see for Nejire will be. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.